If you ever have a feeling that you want to do something and you just can't get to do it, please stop. Don't do it. Wait for the right time. If you're a believer, maybe God is telling you to wait. If you're not, there is that spiritual being, spiritual power that is telling you, wait a little bit. Something will work out for you the right way. Such has been the instance for me this particular evening, because I've been trying to get this video recorded for about an hour or so and I just couldn't get it done. And just when I was preparing to get done with the video, I saw the big headline that we've all been waiting for ever since Moises Caicedo signed for Chelsea Football Club, and that is the "Here We Go" on Roméo Lavia, bringing us closer to the dream midfield that many of us didn't even believe would have at the start of the season. I'm going to be talking about that deal and many more right here in this particular video. For now, I want to tell you that my name is Desire Derek Ford Mugumisa, and yes, I am at D Mugumisa on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and a couple of other platforms. I am at Double D Mugumisa on TikTok, so find me there as well. And I'm telling you that you need to be subscribing, you need to be liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and of course sharing it with every single Chelsea fan that needs to be keeping up with us as far as this is concerned. Now to the big news, ladies and gentlemen. A transfer is not a transfer unless Fabrizio Romano has come through and told us what exactly has happened with that. And yes, this evening, he came through for all of us with the big headline, and this is what we're going to be starting this particular video off with, and that is the news on Roméo Lavia. Look at that, Roméo Lavia to Chelsea. Here we go. Deal agreed between clubs on final fee short of 60 million, add-ons included. Structure also agreed. Lavia will undergo medical tests this week. Just informed by clubs that the agreement has been reached. Romeo said yes to Chelsea on Monday. That is Fabrizio. He goes on to add, understand final fee for Roméo Lavia to Chelsea after agreement revealed a few minutes ago will be £53 million fixed plus £5 million in add-ons. Lavia will be unveiled as a Chelsea player this week. Now, isn't that huge news, Chelsea fans? We point, we need, we get. And yeah, shouts out to everybody that thought that the selling of Chelsea by Abramovich meant we would be broke and not signing the players we need, wouldn't even be spending. Matter of fact, we are spending much more than when Abramovich was here, and it looks like we are putting in some work as far as these players are concerned. Moises Caicedo, 2020 Chelsea jersey, wanted to play for Chelsea even before he could come to England, and now he is a Chelsea player. Roméo Lavia, of course, it is Joe Shields. He was with him at Manchester City, brought him into Manchester City, took him with him to Southampton, has brought him to Chelsea, and again, you're hearing his friends coming through and saying, hey, he says he wanted to go to Chelsea because they are the club that showed him that they wanted him the most. Roméo Lavia finally at Chelsea Football Club, even when it is clear that should they choose a defensive midfielder, maybe Caicedo will play ahead of him. But there is something about this project thing that these players are sold to that just will not let them go to any other club. Liverpool Football Club, so sorry, I hope you will be well very soon. You have no first choice midfielder because you fumbled on that one. You have no second choice who was supposed to be more expensive and you thought you had gotten to outbid us for him, and here they are, both of them at Chelsea Football Club. Guess what? You couldn't even beat us in a football game when we didn't have the midfielders we want to have. How bad can you be, people? How bad can you be, Liverpool? But yes, very happy. Roméo Lavia is finally ours, and I cannot wait for all the content that will be coming out about that. Shouts out to the Chelsea media team with the choice of song on the Moises Caicedo release video. That really was some finesse. Let's get to move on. Some more news coming through this evening as far as Chelsea is concerned, because there is another target already in the line, a target for whom a fee was agreed earlier than Roméo Lavia, and that is because we activated their release clause. A very complicated release clause if you're going to follow all the stories that were coming through about this particular one, and that player is Michael Olise, the French under-21 international. Now, there is some not so good news coming through on that particular deal, and that is because Sammy Mokbel of the Daily Mail is having a story on that. Let's get to look at it. That is to state that it's an exclusive to him, Sammy Mokbel, and it's that Michael Olise's proposed move to Chelsea is unfolding amid a backdrop of tapping up concerns from Crystal Palace. Informal grievances have been communicated to Chelsea, who are comfortable they have acted within rules and appropriate etiquette right there. Now, of course, tapping up is something that is illegal in football, but you will find that it happens quite often and quite inevitably. Now, tapping up, if you do not understand what this is the case where a club, a manager, or a club generally, someone representing the club, goes over to talk to a player before that player's club gives them the permission to speak to him, especially if, let's look at this. So what they're accusing Chelsea of is that someone from Chelsea moved over and talked to Olise and tried to sell him the project at Chelsea and all of these kinds of things before Crystal Palace had allowed them to speak to their player. So that is what tapping up is. You will remember Ashley Cole as a case that Chelsea has suffered before. We got a suspended 3-point punishment and all of that. And that is because Arsenal was so mad, they still went ahead and reported that case to the authorities then. That is the football authorities. Now, what we are being told, actually before we come to what we're being told, you will also remember that Van Dijk, he's moved from Southampton to Liverpool. It almost didn't get to happen because, well, Southampton blamed Liverpool for tapping him up before they could give them the permission to speak to the player. It was so bad that Liverpool walked away, at least at that moment, from that deal, and that their owners came down to apologize for that kind of situation. But it is not uncommon that this gets to happen. I mean, how do you go through the process of signing a player without even knowing if the player wants you or if the deal is possible? Well, especially if you're Liverpool, I guess they suffered so much with Van Dijk, they decided they would be going by the book now, and that is why Moises Caicedo is doing to them what he did to end up at Chelsea Football Club. But yeah, what we are having now is that Crystal Palace officials, they are not so happy with the process through which we have approached the Olise situation. The Chelsea officials are insisting they went through the right path. There is belief that there is a chance the Crystal Palace officials will not be going to the authorities like the Arsenal ones did many years ago, and maybe it will not be an issue. So that is something that we shall continue to watch and see how it gets to develop. But yeah, that's happening. Now we know that his release clause, Michael Olise, has been activated. There had been so many rumors that there was no release clause, but it turns out it was there, but it was a bit complicated and all of that. But Chelsea have finally managed to activate that one, and you think that there will be medicals and unveilings, and that by Friday this week we shall have 2 more players join us at Chelsea Football Club. How about that? We get what we want when we want it, and yes, we are Chelsea Football Club, and we keep that blue flag flying high right there. And of course, well, let's see. This guy is so good. I was looking at some stats about Michael Olise. I think this is something that we want you to have a look at before we close this one out. This is something that Expected Chelsea put up, and they state since 2005, only 5 under-21 players have had more than 10 assists in a single Premier League season. Look at this company. Cesc Fabregas, legend of Chelsea, I don't know about Arsenal, Wayne Rooney, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Bukayo Saka, and he's been flying, and the man, Michael Olise. Now, you look at the 4 names that we mentioned right there, and Michael Olise, and you wonder, why isn't he in the headlines like the other players? Here he is doing all these crazy things, more than 10 assists in a club, playing for Crystal Palace. That is huge stuff, isn't it? And yet somehow, he's not getting to make those headlines like, well, some of the other players are. Maybe those that even have much less impact on the game than he is. You have Enzo Fernandez in that team creating, and then of course you have Michael Olise also creating somewhere close to the top. We remember that one of the things we suffered the most with last season was, well, we had a lot of possession, but we were passing it across the pitch and back again and back again. We had hardly anyone creating for the strikers or for the forwards or anything. And when one of those people that was supposed to produce was Kai Havertz, he was dribbling and losing the ball and giving away throw-ins and stuff like that. Now we have guys who are coming through with the through balls. Moises Caicedo, one of his best stats in there is through balls, on top of his crazy tackling. You look at Olise coming through, we just looked at that stat. You look at Enzo Fernandez and what he did against Liverpool. The times are great ahead, aren't they, people? Aren't they? We are Chelsea. We are keeping the blue flag flying high, and we are happy. Every Chelsea fan deserves to be happy. We are happy. We are getting who we want, and we're getting even more. How about that? Desire Derek Ford Mugumisa raised my name. This is the YouTube channel that you cannot afford not to be subscribed to. One whose bell you should have switched on already, because every time we have a video coming up, then yeah, you have something to watch and you don't get to miss out on that. So please do that. Give us those likes. Share these videos with all the Chelsea fans that you know in your neighborhood or even on your phone book, and let's get to grow this channel together. Keep the blue flag flying high, Chelsea fans. We'll be back with another one. Stay on the channel.